The human head is about 5 eyes wide, but it doesn't always look that way because the face is narrower than the rest of the skull. And if the camera is very close to the face, it's impossible for it to see the sides of the head. When the camera is backed up, you can see the sides of the head. My online friend Stephen Eastwood made a series of portraits, and he labeled each one with a focal length of a lens. And he goes into some detail on his website about how the camera distance varies, but people don't always pick up on that detail, and they associate just the focal length with a particular look. But what we're really seeing here is the effect of distance on portraiture. So here's a 3D model, and we are using a 50mm lens, which is a little wide for a portrait lens. You can see the side of her head. So here would be the 5-eye line, 1, 2, 3, and then an eye on each side. It's a little small because we're using a 50. If we switch to, let's say, an 85mm, let's just say, then that forces us to back up. You can see the way it just blew up. It's the same relationship. See the way there's only a small amount of space on this side of her eye. It forces us to back up in order to reframe a headshot. And when we do that, there's a little bit more space on the side. So you can see it's starting to be more the classic 5-eye line measurement. If we were to go to a 300mm lens, that would again force us to back up substantially. And when we do that, you can see that we see much more of the side of her head. If, however, we go the other way to, let's say, a 10mm lens, then you can see she's very tiny in frame. And in order to frame up a headshot, we have to come in quite close. And you can see in this view here, the camera is right in her face. So you would never really want a camera that close to a person if you're trying to do a headshot, unless you want that effect. But you can see that the so-called 5-eye line is completely gone at this point. We're not seeing the sides of her head.